For good reason. We have not only champions of the past, champions of the past, we have world champions of the present. Marissa Shields in the building.
Jake Paul just got confronted by Andrew Tate in NYC. And honestly, he had it coming. Things got real in New York City on December 14th when months of rising tension between Jake Paul and Andrew Tate finally boiled over. And it wasn't even a planned encounter. The two just happened to cross paths on the street. But if you know Jake Paul, you know he couldn't let the moment pass without stirring the pot. He fired off a string of over-the-top insults at Tate, pushing the feud from online beef to real-world confrontation. And what happened next? Pure chaos. Andrew Tate didn't hesitate. He'd been warning for months that if they ever met face-to-face, he wouldn't back down. And he meant every word.
It's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, who would
Jake Paul might have finally picked the wrong fight. When it comes to Jake Paul, let's be honest. He's built an entire brand around poking the bear. Whether it's calling out combat sports legends like Mike Tyson or cherry-picking opponents, that pad his record and boost his hype. Jake knows how to stir the pot. But what went down on December 14th? That wasn't just another clout-chasing call-out. That was Andrew Tate, a four-time kickboxing world champion with a net worth north of $710 million, stepping to Jake Paul face-to-face on a crowded New York street. And make no mistake, Tate came with a point to prove. He didn't just show up, he showed dominance. No security buffer, no YouTube theatrics, just raw energy and a reminder of who the real fighter in the room was. Jake might have thought it was business as usual. It wasn't.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more. Any day, anytime.
For anyone living under a rock, this wasn't just another viral moment. Let's be clear, Andrew Tate doesn't do anything halfway. This wasn't a casual run-in or a passive-aggressive jab on Twitter. No, this was Tate confronting Jake. Paul in the middle of a public street in broad daylight, surrounded by fans and phones rolling from every angle. It wasn't a scene, it was a spectacle. And Jake? Let's just say his trademark bravado took a serious hit. For once, the king of confidence didn't have much to say. If Jake's ego had a volume knob, Tate turned it all the way down. Live, unfiltered, and for the whole world to see. This wasn't a boxing promo. This was a reality check. And Jake Paul just got served.
Come on, work. Go. Work. Come on, Marshall. Keep going. Work! Come on, fight. Make it. Come on, 20 seconds to work, Marshall. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, work. 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 Good. Work. 10 seconds. Work.
Jake Paul runs on confidence. But that tank was empty. Confidence is Jake Paul's currency. It's what fuels his trash talk, powers his social media persona, and sells out arenas. Whether he's flexing for 20 million followers or clowning his next opponent, Jake's entire brand is built on swagger. But in that moment, there was none. Because Andrew Tate isn't just some random troll Jake can brush off with a snarky one-liner. He's not a retired athlete handpicked by Jake's team to pad the win column. He's Andrew Tate, a four-time world champion, a combat sports killer, and a man who thrives on confrontation even more than Jake does. And when Tate stepped up, Jake didn't rise to the occasion. He folded into it.
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And two,
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
And it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never.
Jake Paul was silenced without a word. You could see it plain as day in Jake Paul's body language. He didn't need to get hit. Tate didn't even raise his voice. He didn't have to. His towering presence, calm demeanor, and stone-cold confidence said everything that needed saying. Jake, usually the loudest guy in the room, looked like a fish out of water. This is the same guy known for rapid-fire comebacks and in-your-face bravado. And yet, when it mattered most, he had nothing, no snark, no swagger, just silence. And when the king of trash talk goes quiet, you know something real just happened.
I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring. I'm a kick.
This wasn't random. It was personal. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment street drama. Tate's decision to confront Jake Paul had been brewing for months. Jake has made a name for himself by calling out legends. But let's be real. Most of them were well past their prime, all while carefully dodging real threats. And Andrew Tate? He saw right through the game. For a man who's dedicated his life to combat sports, watching Jake turn boxing into a sideshow must have been maddening. The flashy callouts, the padded matchups, the social media circus. It was all noise. But when Jake Paul had the audacity to call Tate a washed-up fighter, that was the final straw. And on December 14th, Tate made it crystal clear. He's not here for clout, he's here to call out the faker in the fight game.
When you see some of these crossover fights, obviously I know that you and Jake Paul have had your disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know?
Tate didn't step to Jake for clout. He stepped up for respect, let's be honest. Andrew Tate didn't confront Jake Paul for attention. He doesn't need the spotlight, and he definitely doesn't need the money. Tate's bank account is already overflowing, and his name rings out around the world. This wasn't about fame. It was about a statement. In combat sports, respect isn't earned through followers or flashy trash talk. It's earned in the ring against real competition. And that's exactly what Jake Paul has been avoiding like the plague. Tate wasn't there to go viral. He wasn't there to troll. He was there to remind Jake and everyone watching what real fighters stand for. And that in this game, respect is fought for, not bought. December 14th was just another day until it wasn't. It started like any other day in New York. Busy streets, buzzing crowds. But that all changed in seconds. On a packed sidewalk, surrounded by a growing circle of fans and curious onlookers, Andrew Tate made his move. Phones were out, cameras rolling, the air electric with anticipation. And then it happened. Within minutes, the footage exploded across social media. The internet caught fire. Hashtags lit up timelines. TVPA, J. Paul exposed, reset the game. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a shift, a reset, a reality check. And Jake Paul? He was at the center of it for all the wrong reasons.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful. But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother, and I know what we've been through, and I know the kind of men we are.
Think this was all for show? Think again. If you're assuming this was just some staged stunt dreamed up by PR teams to drive clicks, you're dead wrong. The tension was real. You could see it in Jake's body language, the way he scrambled to recover, trying to hide his discomfort behind sarcastic jabs, forced laughs, and that signature smirk we've seen 1,000 times before. Only this time, none of it worked. Because this wasn't a roast battle. It wasn't a promo clip or a YouTube skit. It was Andrew Tate in the flesh, delivering a very real message in front of the world. And Jake Paul had no script to hide behind.
That's delusion. I'm sorry. Look, Andrew, fighter, legitimate, badass motherfucker, strong mentality. Sorry, Tristan Tate is the weak link.
I say let's run
He got a bad shoulder. He's shaped like a gingerbread man. I don't want no beef, but that's delusion.
PFO will set this up.
Uh-oh.
A MMA
10
double tag team match.
10 million for everybody.
You might have a fight. You might have a fight on your hands.
That would go crazy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. No, seriously.
I'm
Let's
about
do
the
it.
action. Like I'm less talk now. Let's just fucking go.
Yo, but you know for a fact, me and Jake will travel to Romania.
you go.
We will make this happen. We'll do it wherever you want, whatever conditions you want.
The untouchable image shattered. Jake Paul's entire persona is built on the idea that he's untouchable. The underdog who always pulls off the upset. The loudmouth who proves the haters wrong time and time again. It's his brand, his identity, his armor. But the moment Andrew Tate stood in front of him, all that bravado, gone. No comebacks, no confidence, just a harsh dose of reality. Because when you finally face someone who doesn't buy the hype, someone who's been forged in real fights, not just viral ones, the mask slips. And for Jake Paul, that moment came on a New York street with the world watching.
Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real fucking world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real fucking world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a fucking fraction of the money you have because you managed to become a fucking clown.
Tate didn't need to say much. His presence said it all. Andrew Tate didn't need to shout. He didn't need theatrics. His presence alone did the talking. With a towering frame and the calm intensity of a 4-time kickboxing world champion, Tate just stood there, composed, in control, and radiating power. Jake Paul, on the other hand, visibly rattled. He tried to fire back, because that's what Jake does. But this time, the words fell flat. No laughs, no swagger. Just a failed attempt to regain control. This wasn't a YouTube skit. This was real. And once the footage hit the internet, game over for Jake's ego. Within hours, the memes took over. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, flooded with edits comparing Jake to a kid getting scolded by his dad. The once brave persona was reduced to punchlines and parodies. Meanwhile, Tate's stock surged. Even people who weren't diehard fans had to admit that was a power move.
Go fight! Hey, fight! Hey, go fight! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, keep going. Come on, work. Go, work. Come on, Marshall, keep going. Work! Come on, speed. Come on, fight. Make it. Hey. 20 seconds. Come on, 20 seconds to walk, Steve. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
The debate erupted. Was Tate right to call Jake out? As the footage made its rounds, the internet did what it does best. It picked sides. Some said Tate was in the right, calling out Jake Paul for years of dodging real fighters and turning the sport into a circus. Others claimed it was just two oversized egos clashing in public for attention. But no matter which side you were on, one thing was undeniable. This wasn't going to blow over anytime soon. The moment had already gone. Viral. The conversation was just getting started.
You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck.
More than a confrontation. It was a clash of eras. This wasn't just a face-off between two men. It was a collision of two worlds. Jake Paul embodies the new era of combat sports, where clout often outweighs skill, and the goal isn't always to prove yourself in the ring, but to go viral outside of it. His fights are as much about views, clicks, and spectacle as they are about boxing. Andrew Tate? He's cut from a different cloth. Old school, disciplined, ruthless. He comes from a world where respect is earned through sweat, pain, and performance, not followers. This wasn't just a confrontation. It was a statement. A showdown between what the fight game used to be and what it's becoming.
The best boxer on the planet is Jake Paul. Why? I mean, who's doing it? I mean, if Mike Tyson says, let's do this, are you down? 100%.
I'm gonna make Mike my girlfriend.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? Again, no, because he's now old. And I would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out our old version of this.
prime self. That doesn't feel fair. Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match. So to beat him when he's past his prime is dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight.
For Tate, this was bigger than Jake Paul. This wasn't just about one man. It was about what Jake Paul symbolizes. A shift in combat sports where spectacle often trumps substance, and viral moments sometimes matter more than real skill. By confronting Jake, Tate wasn't just standing up for himself. He was standing up for an entire generation of fighters who have dedicated their lives to the craft. This was a fight for the soul of the sport.
Jake Paul can fight. It's not like Jake Paul can't fight.
Yeah.
Jake Paul just won't fight anybody.
The aftermath, internet ablaze, and rumors. Flying. In the days following the confrontation, the internet exploded with chatter. Fans couldn't stop speculating. Would Jake Paul finally step into the ring with Andrew Tate, or would he keep dodging? Real competition? The media jumped in too, stoking the flames with headlines like, Andrew Tate humiliates Jake Paul, and the showdown that could change combat sports forever. The tension was real, and everyone was waiting for the next move.
Somebody like me, he'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself, he's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my...
The fallout, a win for Tate, a blow for Jake. For Jake Paul, the fallout was brutal. His image took a serious hit, and his critics, already vocal, grew even louder. The confrontation exposed cracks in the confident persona he's built his brand around. For Andrew Tate, it was a clear win, both in respect and exposure. He didn't just call Jake out. He embodied everything he's been preaching about authenticity, discipline, and respect in combat sports. Tate walked the walk. Jake got caught in the spotlight, and this time it didn't go his way. What's next for Jake Paul and Andrew Tate? The big question on everyone's mind. What happens next? Fans are already calling for a sanctioned fight, and the internet is buzzing with predictions. Some say Jake doesn't stand a chance against Tate's years of experience, discipline, and fight IQ. Others argue that Jake's youth, athleticism, and sheer determination could give him the edge. One thing's for sure. If this fight ever happens, it won't just be a match. It'll be a moment.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beef.
More than entertainment. A clash of eras. For fans, this wasn't just entertainment. It was a glimpse into the growing tension between traditional combat sports and the internet-fueled spectacle taking over the scene. And for Jake Paul, it might have been the reality check he never saw coming, but definitely needed.
Pressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out.
Don't forget to like the channel, subscribe, and press the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest content.